I hear things in the middle of the night and, I go into oh my God, what's going on now? It's not a fun way to live your life. And I wouldn't expect anybody anywhere to have to live like this.
For about 2 years, people living on Agamaite Road in the town of Scott have said they feel they're being held hostage in their own homes.
Who knows what goes on in that house? Always suspicious activity.
They say their problems are due to the actions of one property owner and the inaction of their town and sheriff's department.
And the town has told us in town meetings that they will not come out to this house without a police escort. But it's okay for us to live here.
Patty Terry and Christine Davis live in 2 of the 14 homes on Agamaite, which is just off of Nicolay Drive along the bay. Others on the street have told Fox 11 they all share the same concerns about the home Chad Smith owns and lives in. An open records request shows Smith's property has been the subject of 82 police calls since September of 2023, including 64 this year alone, an average of more than 6 a month. In February of this year, it appeared the neighborhood's suspicions were confirmed that Smith was operating a drug house on their street. According to court documents, authorities found fentanyl, methamphetamine, cocaine, and guns during a search of Smith's home. It was determined 4 people were living in the home. Smith had 7 charges filed against him, including 5 felonies.
We were thinking, oh, finally, something's happened, and it's just nothing has changed.
Within a few weeks of his arrest, Smith posted $20,000 cash to get out of jail. Conditions of his release included no contact with known drug users. Neighbors say Smith moved into the home's garage, where he's living with his girlfriend, who was present during the February drug search. They say the home is being rented out, and the name they provided us for the tenant has drug convictions on his record. The neighbors say suspicious activity continues, including people parking down the street and walking to the home at all hours, and an armed robbery that happened at the home in mid-September.
He continues to break laws. The house is still a nuisance, and nobody seems to want to act on it. Everybody, I think, just feels that eventually people will go to jail and this will go away. But in the meantime, things are happening on a regular basis yet.
Fox 11 tried calling Smith and left a message asking if he'd be willing to do an interview with us, but he did not return our call. Terry and Davis supplied Fox 11 with more than a year's worth of documents they've been collecting as they've been trying to get Smith out of their neighborhood. The documents include emails and letters to Town of Scott officials and the Brown County Sheriff's Department asking them for help with not only criminal concerns, but what they believe are town ordinance violations. They say Smith's property consistently looks like a junkyard with broken down vehicles and piles of trash.
I mean, there's piles and piles of garbage bags back there.
There's rodents coming out from under it.
Neighbors say they believe the other ordinance violations include adding windows to the garage without a building permit and adding a second driveway without permission. About a month before the apparent drug raid, on January 6th of this year, Brown County Sheriff Patrol Captain John Russo told Terry in an email the department has dedicated a significant amount of resources towards this address, but have been unable to locate significant criminal activity. Russo also told Terry the town has been looking at their nuisance ordinance, but they've not seen qualifying calls occurring. A month after that email, Town of Scott Economic Development Coordinator Dave Cherney emailed Terry. He wrote he'd emailed the Sheriff's Department to find out if or what they can give him for an update, and that he asked if they could get assistance from a deputy for serving citations.
Unlock the door.
A few weeks later, on February 21st, is when the Sheriff's Department did its search of Smith's home, finding drugs and guns, according to court documents. A few days later, the town issued a citation for nuisance property storage of junk and vehicles. In the 8 months since then, the neighbors admit the junk situation has improved in the front yard, but they say the town and Sheriff's Department haven't done much else to address concerns. We requested interviews with both the town and the Sheriff's Department. An attorney for the town declined, citing pending litigation. The Sheriff's Department said no because of the ongoing criminal case. We tried telling both our questions had little to do with Smith's pending drug charges and more about how they address neighborhood concerns. We still couldn't get either to agree to an interview. For the Town of Scott, a May 28th letter from its attorney, Robert Gagan, to Patty Terry provides insight on its approach to the problem property. Gagan admits numerous complaints have been received about the presence of inoperable or unregistered vehicles, the accumulation of refuse and miscellaneous debris, and general code violations that have given rise to concerns about public health, safety, and welfare. He says the town has initiated enforcement measures consistent with its authority under local ordinances. Gagan also writes the town is closely monitoring the ongoing criminal case that relates directly to the cited violations and the conduct occurring on the property. The town intends to evaluate and determine any further course of action following the adjudication of that case. Gagan suggests the neighbors could pursue private legal action in the interim.
I wish I could afford to,
Yeah,
but I would have done it against the town, not him, because to me the town
our
is
town
not.
isn't helping us. This isn't even really, I'm not going to file any civil suit against this guy. He's going away, I'm pretty sure of that. Our township, I plan to live here forever. Our township is going to be our township, and they need to protect us.
Have you guys tried to just talk with him? Talk with Chad?
I'm afraid of him.
Yeah, we're all afraid of him.
The neighbors say they're afraid of retaliation, which they claim they've already been subjected to. Most recently, when Davis's dog wandered away from her property.
My dog disappeared. I saw him go around that fence. 10 to 15 minutes later, Chad's truck left. Half hour later, he was in Kiwani.
The dog was in Kiwani.
The dog was in Kiwani in a ditch. Someone found him there.
And you haven't called the police because you're afraid.
I'm afraid to. I'm
were-
afraid because I've been told I'm going to be sued for harassment. I can't go to the police anymore.
Davis says Brown County Sheriff Captain John Russo told her that.
He said, "Your frog's hair away from being sued for harassment."
Fox 11 asked Russo in an email if that's true. He responded, a patrol sergeant explained to a complainant that repeated unfounded complaints could be seen as harassment. Russo says that was based on the subject of the original complaint, alleging his neighbors were harassing him by calling in multiple false complaints to get him in trouble. In a September 22nd email, Russo told Patty Terry some of the activity that is causing concern is not illegal. From a law enforcement perspective, he writes they do not address legal activities. As a homeowner, he can leave for 10 minutes at a time as often as he wants, unless it involves illegal activity where he goes or what he does is irrelevant to investigators. Russo also told her the department continues to investigate every call for service it receives.
Got him back, didn't we?
As for the neighbor's dog that somehow ended up 25 miles away in a short time, there's been no confirmation Smith had any role in that.
Perhaps that wouldn't be that difficult to find out, though, considering Smith has been wearing an ankle monitor as a condition of his release from jail. The only problem with that is it was recently discovered to be dead and Smith to be considered AWOL from monitoring. Now, you might be thinking, doesn't that solve the neighborhood's problems if he's thrown back in jail? Well, that's happened a few times over the past couple months, only for Smith to post bond and end up back in his Agamaite Road home.
I have posted out on Facebook my frustrations with this, and every time I do, somebody contacts me and says, my neighbor or my friend had this same problem. People living in a neighborhood have to have some kind of recourse so they can live their life in peace.
It appears that might not come until Smith's ongoing criminal case is resolved from the February drug search. A status conference is scheduled for December 5th. For Fox 11 Investigates, I'm Ben Krumholz.